There is such a difficult time period that you have to endure when you are between where you currently are and where you want to be in life. You know what you want your life to look like, you know all of the amazing things that you want in your life, and you've put that out into the universe, but you are still stuck in your current reality that doesn't feel like it aligns. You're in a job that you don't like, you're in an environment that you don't particularly like, you've got a friend group that doesn't particularly align with who you are right now, and as a result of that, that can make you extremely unhappy. When you feel like you don't fit in anywhere, it can make your life feel so much harder than it needs to be because you are aware of the life that you want and you can't want anything else but that. If you have that want in your heart of an amazing, abundant life where you're doing amazing, abundant and big things, then the reality is that you're gonna need to start doing big things and making big changes in order for you to actually get to that point. But all of that is hard. So I am gonna share with you 5 tips that have helped me get through this really weird limbo phase of discomfort, unhappiness for a big part of it, and I am going to teach you how you can be happy right now while you're in this weird limbo phase instead of sitting around waiting for your dream life to come around, because when you're waiting for something to happen, we all know that it takes 10 times longer. Number 1, listen. In times of discomfort like this and in times of uncertainty and feeling like you don't fit in anywhere, it is easy to feel like you are a victim of your life and you're a victim to all of the things that are happening to you, all of the tests that are coming your way. You feel like the world is just basically out to get you and wants to see your downfall. That's why you need to shift your perspective. Once you state to the universe that you want something, once you have made that conscious decision to say, I want this life, I want an abundant life, the universe is going to be like, okay, got you, girl. And then the universe is putting in the work behind the scenes to make those things happen. It's trying to align you with the life that you are asking for. Now, the likelihood is that you've asked for an abundant life. You want a big life. When you want an abundant and big life, you have to make the necessary changes in order to get that. So don't be surprised when tests come your way during this time, because you've essentially asked for it. You've asked to level up. So the universe is giving you all the tests so that you can level up, because it's in the difficult times that we actually learn the most about ourselves. So instead of being so resistant to these tests and thinking that the world is out to get you and that you're never going to reach your dreams because your life is just clearly so difficult, start looking at the tests and the things that are going wrong in your life as lessons, things for you to learn from. It sounds like such a simple mindset shift and it seems so straightforward, and you've probably heard other people talk about it, but this has been something that has been so crucial to my growth.
If you're going through hell, keep going. I mean, why would you stop there?
When I was younger, I used to be so reactive to everything. I needed everything to go perfectly. I needed all of my senses to be satisfied. I needed my environment to be exactly how I wanted it to be, and I needed the people around me to be exactly how I wanted them to be. Otherwise, I would feel so much frustration and anger inside me that I couldn't deal with it. I used to be under the impression that everything had to run smoothly, and if it didn't run smoothly, it wasn't meant to be. Now, that is not always the case. It can be, but it is not always the case. A lot of the time, the tests that you are being sent are testing your resilience. They're testing how much you want the thing that you're asking for. So when you make this tiny little mindset shift and start looking at the things that are going wrong as lessons and learning from them, you're going to find so much peace and contentment, because you are going to know that everything happens for a reason. And whatever is happening to you right now, I know some people don't like to say this, but I have always found that when things happen to you, they're not happening to you, they're happening for you. Everything is for a greater purpose. It was truly something that really helped me get through 2023. 2023 was the year that I thought, right, I am making my dream life happen, whether I like it or not. I have to make it happen now. There's no other option. I need to do it. So obviously when you set that intention out to the universe, things start changing. Your life around you starts changing, and you have to be prepared for that. And I very much was kind of prepared for that because I've been through it before. So I had a lot of things going wrong last year. This simple mindset shift is going to take you from being in the victim mentality to actually taking accountability for the things that are happening in your life and figuring out what you can learn from life, being a student of life and just being open to what the universe has to teach you. The things that you are going through right now are going to give you the most crucial lessons, and if you learn from those lessons, they're going to be like stepping stones to the person that you want to be. So rather than resisting the lessons and the things that are going wrong and thinking, oh my god, why does everything bad happen to me, just surrender and accept what you can learn from the the situation, because that's all you can do really. There's nothing else you can do. You can be a victim, but it's just gonna delay your success. It's gonna delay your dreams coming to you because you're not fucking learning from what the universe is trying to tell you. Trust me, I spent so much longer than I needed to spend in this weird limbo phase because I just simply didn't want to accept the tests that were being thrown at me. I remember in my first heartbreak, years and years and years ago, the universe was really trying to tell me, no, you do not want to be tied down to a man who wants to stay in this hometown. And when things all shattered and crumbled beneath me, I remember thinking, oh my God, but I don't want this life anymore. I don't want to live in the city. Why can't I just be like my friends? Why can't things be easy like my friends who are all in relationships? They've always been in relationships. Why can't I be like that? I genuinely remember thinking like this because I was so caught up over this man that I completely forgot all of my dreams. And thank God the universe forced me out of that situation because clearly I had lost my mind. Number 2, trust in the seasons of your life. Everything always unfolds how it needs to unfold in the end. And you will have these moments of bliss and knowing in the journey, but I know that that is so difficult when you're not feeling that. I know how difficult it is when people just say, oh, well, trust in the journey, everything will work out in the end. I know, and I know that's basically all I've said in this video is to basically trust. But I am talking to you from a place of level-headedness and clear mind, which I know that you guys have within you too, and I know that you probably will have felt that feeling of trust at some point. So I'm just here to remind you guys, everything does work out. And if you are in a season right now where you feel like everything's going wrong, you feel like life is just throwing obstacles at you constantly, that doesn't mean that you're not destined to get to where you need to be. It doesn't mean that you're not learning. It doesn't mean that you're not growing. In fact, it means the complete opposite. You are learning and growing. I think what some of us really struggle to get our heads around is that we need to go through these low seasons. We need to go through these seasons where everything is going wrong because they are the most formative times of our life. When I was in Thailand, I felt really poorly quite a few times on the trip, and I think it was because of like the change of diet, a lot of traveling, all that kind of stuff. But it really tested me because when I'm feeling unwell and I'm having to go out and be social and do all of these things, I feel like I'm not the best version of myself. I feel like I can't be a nice person, even though I am always a nice person, but it's like more of an internal battle for me. But I knew, even as hard as it was in that moment, feeling really nauseous on a 6-hour-long bus journey and having to write off a day completely because I had the worst migraine of my entire life and then my period came 7 days early, I knew that there was something to learn in that downtime, and I knew that that was just the season that my body was in. I was just in a restorative season. I needed to rest, I needed to recharge, hence the reason why I took a couple of weeks off YouTube, because I thought before I went on that trip that I was going to go there, I was going to film all this content, I was going to get so much work done, and I also thought it was going to be a really healing, restorative holiday where I did yoga every single morning, I meditated, I did all this mindfulness stuff, I saw the sunrise, the sunset, etc. And it never turns out how you think it's going to turn out. So rather than being a victim and rather than thinking, oh my God, nothing ever works out for me, this holiday isn't going how I expected it to go, I just leaned into that, and I leaned into the fact that I was actually not feeling my best, and I leaned into the reasons why, the deeper root causes of why I didn't feel great. And it taught me a lot about the foods that I was eating and how my body responds to that. I have gotten so much valuable information and data essentially about my body and the things that my body can and cannot tolerate because of that time in my life. But if I was shut off to that and I was thinking, oh well, I need to be go all the time because that's what society pushes onto us, they push onto us this constant summer season where we need to be constantly go. If I forced myself to be go during that time, I think my body would have just genuinely forced me to stop. And in fact, I think that's what it was doing when I was feeling ill. It was forcing me to just slow the fuck down and stop. It was every single time that I thought about picking up my camera, I would feel unwell. And if that's not a clear enough sign, then I don't know what is. So if you trust in the seasons of your life, and if things are feeling really resistant and you're trying to get loads and loads of things done to the best of your ability, but things are genuinely just not working out, understand that it's okay to rest. It's okay to have a resting season. You might just have an internal real winter going on, and that is completely fine. Just because you are resting doesn't mean that you are not growing and that you're not getting closer to your goal, but it's just how you frame it, and it's just whether or not you take the lessons that need to be learned from that experience. I think just knowing that everything is cyclical and everything has a polar opposite to it. So you wouldn't have happiness if there wasn't sadness. You wouldn't know peace if you didn't know anger and frustration. We wouldn't appreciate abundance if we didn't experience lack. So just acknowledge and appreciate the season that you're in right now in your life, and I can assure you that that is going to bring you so much peace. Number 3, cultivate joy in small little ways. When we're going through a really tough time, joy isn't something that comes naturally to us. It's not something that comes easily. So we have to take accountability, and we have to make sure that we are implementing and creating joy in our life in some way, shape or form. Now, I know that when you're going through a bit of a low season and you're feeling a little bit shit, you feel like everything's going wrong, maybe you've gone through a breakup, maybe you feel like there is no joy left in your body and that nothing external in this world brings you any kind of happiness anymore. You might feel that way, you might feel like nothing is going to give you happiness, but it's just because you're trying to find happiness in the things that made you happy once before. And a lot of the time when we go through breakups and we go through these rock bottom moments or go through these weird limbo phases, we're shedding skin, we're outgrowing a past version of ourselves. So why would you carry on doing the things that you were doing before if they're not working? So let's say you're going through a breakup right now and nothing brings you joy in life. What now? Are you just going to accept that? Are you going to accept that nothing brings you joy in life right now? Or are you actually going to try and find tiny little micro ways that you can implement joy into your life? If you don't know where to start with this, and if things are genuinely not bringing you any kind of joy right now, nothing is making you happy, you're going to a job every single day that you fucking hate, you're coming back home to a family that is toxic, or maybe a chaotic household where you can't really relax, or you've not got a friend group that aligns with you, what are you gonna do? Are you just gonna accept that as your life? Is that just your new fate now? Or are you gonna take matters into your own hands and actually find ways to cultivate joy within your life? If you're struggling to think of things that are gonna bring you joy, just go back to basics. Go back to the basic things that make human beings happy. Exercise, sunlight, movement in some kind of way, even if it's not full on exercise, just going out for a walk or just doing some stretching, taking up a new class, doing some painting, coloring, listening to music, but maybe listening to music in a different genre so it changes it up a little bit, reading a new kind of book that you've never read before, watching a different film that you've never seen before. Really putting emphasis on change and doing different things when you are trying to cultivate joy, because that is going to elevate your vibrational frequency. When you are doing things that are scientifically proven to make you feel better, even if you're not feeling better while you're doing them, if you're consistent with them and you make it a habit to add a little bit of joy into every single day, eventually over time the feelings that come from those things are going to compound, and they're going to compound into something beautiful, and before you know it, you're going to be happy again. But you have to make the conscious decision to cultivate joy. You have to put it into your schedule. You have to make time for it, because who else is going to make time for it? Schedule joy into every single day and make it a non-negotiable. Number 4, plan out who you want to be and what you want your life to look like. When I am going through a down season in my life and I'm feeling pretty depressed, I'm feeling like I'm not getting anywhere and I feel like I'm in limbo, I find it so therapeutic and so helpful to just really fine-tune what I actually want my life to look like. Everyone says they want abundance, everyone says they want lots of money, everyone says they want amazing aligned friendships, everyone says they want freedom. But if you're not very clear and specific with that, you're literally just taking a stab in the dark. It's going to be so much harder for you to reach that end goal, and you're probably going to be in the limbo phase for even longer, like I have been, because I wasn't specific. But if you're not specific about your goals and what you want your dream life to look like, so take this time to really get creative. Go on Pinterest, look at pictures of what you want your dream life to look like, and don't just stop at pictures. I think this is where a lot of people go wrong. I think you need to get the pictures, but you also need to write down why you chose that picture, what that picture represents to you, what you think that you're gonna feel if this picture came into your reality. Really get specific about the important things in your life. And in doing this process, if you don't know what your purpose is in life and you're feeling a little bit stuck in that regard, I found that this really helped me. When I got clear on what actually matters to me and what I actually want in my life, I found it so easy to kind of fall into what I deem to be my purpose right now, which is this YouTube channel. But if you're doing anything in this time, in this rock bottom time when you're feeling like you're just not enjoying your life and you just want to be happy, let it be this. Let it be planning out your dream life and getting really, really specific about the things that you want. Where do you want to live? What do you want your apartment to look like? Why do you want it to look like that? What does that represent to you? Does that picture of your dream apartment represent safety? Does it represent comfort? Does it represent feeling at home, which you might not never have felt before? Does that picture of a sunset over the beach represent freedom? Does it represent nature? What is important to you? Really, really get clear on what is important to you. Number 5, lean into discomfort. This is the most important tip I think I want you to take away from this video, but this has been something that has changed my life. When you accept that life is uncomfortable and life is difficult, whether you like it or not, you will learn to lean into the discomfort because it's the only way to get through it. You can avoid the discomfort all you like. You can avoid going to the gym. You can avoid eating the healthy foods. You can avoid checking your bank account. But all you're doing when you're avoiding these things is just pushing back the inevitable. All I've learned from my journey is that the more that you resist, the longer this phase is going to last for. So when I started to feel so sick of just being in this weird limbo phase and feeling like rubbish all the time, feeling like I'm constantly in a rock bottom, I just decided that no, I'm not going to be a victim anymore. Instead of being a victim, I am going to just lean into the discomfort instead. I'm going to embrace it because that is my reality right now. They are the cards that I've been dealt right now. Once I started learning how to play with the cards that I've been dealt, things just got so much easier. Once I started doing more difficult things, my life got easier. I used to be the queen of putting things off. I would leave plates and cups in my bedroom because I just couldn't be bothered to take them downstairs. I just thought it was easier to leave them there and watch an extra 10 minutes of YouTube before I went to work. I would always put off the things that I needed to do. I would never call the doctors when I needed to call them, or I would never make that dentist appointment when I needed to, or the optician's appointment when I needed to. I used to just wait for the universe to just throw all the shit at me and then I had to deal with it and pick up the pieces. That is now something that I no longer do because I just realized that the more I resist things and the more I try to avoid things and put my head under the sand like an ostrich, I just was making my life so much easier and I was just delaying the life that is inevitably meant for me. I am tired of waiting so long for my dream life to come around. I am tired. I'm tired of sitting around and waiting for miracles to happen. I am tired of trying to manifest things and light incense and rub crystals and all that kind of stuff in order for my dreams to come to me. I'm tired of it. So instead of all of that spiritual bypass bullshit, I am actually taking matters into my own hands now. I am leaning into the discomfort and I'm actually making things happen. I want to be healthy. I'm eating healthy foods. I'm meal prepping. I'm food shopping every single Sunday and making sure that I always have healthy meals. That was something that I could really never get my head around. I always struggled doing a food shop and doing meal prepping, and I don't know why. I think I was just in my head about it, but all I did was simplify it. I simplified it into just making 2 meals in the week and just rotating. So for lunch I would have 1 meal, for dinner I would have another meal, and then I'd kind of swap it around the next day and the next day and the next day. And I made sure that I was doing stock checks of all of my food, so if I was running low on a certain thing, I would go to the shop and get the food that I need, so I'm not put in a situation where I've got no food, and I'm just being prepared. I'm being extra vigilant with my food shop and the things that I'm buying so that I know that I'm always going to have food, and so that I know that I'm not going to be put in a situation where I feel like I need to go and get a McDonald's because I've got no food in the house. No. So what I'm saying is that you need to decide what you want, and there needs to be no holding back. You need to go at it with full force. You need to make it work. Do the things that you said that you were going to do rather than just leaving them, rather than half-assing what you were going to do. I used to do that with food shop lists. I used to do a food shopping list and I wouldn't complete it. I would just kind of write it a little bit, but because I didn't like doing it, I wouldn't finish it. And then I would go to the shop and I wouldn't know what to buy, and then I wouldn't have meals for the week. And then because I didn't have meals for the week, I would end up eating KFC and McDonald's on my lunch break, and it just isn't good for me. It doesn't make me feel good. The things that don't feel good now are the things that are going to catapult you into your dream life. So just lean into that discomfort and just do it anyway. No matter how you are feeling, just do it. Be organized, plan things out, schedule things into your week. And if they're scheduled in, you've got no excuse. You have to just do it because it's scheduled in. And if you don't do it, you're probably going to feel like shit. But This is what I mean with leaning into the discomfort. You've just got to face the things that you don't want to do. Let me know if you're in this situation too at the minute, and if you're feeling like you are just so unhappy with your life right now. I'm assuming you are if you clicked on this video. Just know that if you are going through a time like this right now, that it is not going to last forever, but you have to kind of just take it for what it is and play with the cards that you've been dealt. That's essentially the main theme and the main underlying tone of this video, is to play with the cards that you have been dealt and not be a victim and not complain about your circumstances, because it's not going to get you anywhere. I know how difficult it is to feel like you just hate your life every single day and that waking up just feels like a task. I know exactly how that feels. Just know that I've got your back, and if you need any support or advice, just comment down below and we can chat down there and I can give you any advice that you need, or I can just be here for you. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.